What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Johnny K Picks. And in this video, I'll be going over my full card picks and predictions along with the bets that I'm looking at so far for UFC Vegas 81 Yusuff versus Barboza. First things first, as always, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new or if you haven't just yet. Also, click those notifications so you get notified when I put out my videos, when we do our live streams, all that good stuff. Leave some comments below on your favorite picks, how you did last week, what your favorite bets are going to do. Anything works out for the algorithm for this video. And also, real quick, I just want to bring up again, I just launched my Patreon last week. So if you're interested in supporting me a little bit more, this is one other way. It's $5.99 a month for the core membership. You get early access to all of my UFC bets, whether they're tracked or untracked. As soon as I place those bets, I'm posting them on Patreon. I usually do end up eventually putting them on Twitter later in the week, but you will get them right away. I already have one for sure out. You get early access to all my picks and predictions for future UFC events, usually one or two events out. Patreon exclusive will be my UFC cheat sheet that I do. If you've seen that on Twitter a little while ago, you might know what it is. If not, you will definitely get that. It has all of my potential parlay pieces, single bets, long shots that I like for every fight on the card. You will get that each week, usually anywhere from Thursday or Friday. And also Patreon exclusive, you get all my other bets that I do, which aren't UFC, like NFL, NBA, baseball, soccer, NFL, Bellator, anything you could think of. I will put them on there as well. And also, there'll be more to come. But like I said, I just started this last week. I've got a pretty decent amount of people so far. So thank you for everybody who's signed up so far. But I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention, just in case if you didn't notice. So last card, which was Dawson versus Green, as I went 5-5 on my picks. Tale of two cards, let's put it that way. The first four I got wrong, which we all know that Murata won, which we'll get to, and then I lost on the Dawson fight, which a lot of people I'm sure did. So 5-5 on my picks, not great. For my bets, I end up doing a little bit better than I think what I actually won. I had six bets. I had six bets, but one fell off because of the Lins fight. I had the under 1.5 in that fight. So I only had five. I won three, lost two, but the two that I did lose, they were the bigger bets that I did. So I ended up only winning 0.17 units profit. So a little bit of a winning night. I'm kind of mad because until the Dawson fight hit, I had two bets on that fight and I lost both of them because of that 30-second knockout from Bobby Green. But overall, like I said, it was a pretty good night. I wish it was a little bit better, but Dawson kind of, made it a bad night, if you want to say. But a lot of people did not see that one coming, especially in 30 seconds. So let's get to those fights real quick. We'll go over it because a lot of craziness happened. JJ Aldridge versus Montana De La Rosa. I had De La Rosa. I thought she would try at least to wrestle, and she had 0 takedown attempts, and JJ was able to touch her up. I knew JJ was going to have the better striking. I didn't think it was going to be that much different, but it looked a lot better. And Montana just, I don't know. I think it's something up here. Let's put it that way. Bad fight IQ. Aori Kulang versus Johnny Munoz again. Munoz looked good in the first round. He got that knockdown. Was able to control him, and then Aori took over from there because Munoz just looked like he didn't want to be in that fight anymore. He just wanted to, basically be off his back and play boot scoot grappling. So if you want to say, but never again for Munoz from me. I learned my lesson this time. Aori Kulang is at least he's willing to go in there, push forward, and go for the finish. So let's put it that way. Robbery weird of the night, if you want to say. Vanessa versus Murata. First round was close. You maybe can give it to Vanessa. That's fine. Rounds 2 and 3 for me were Murata all day. I mean, Murata controlled Vanessa for literally like 3.5, 4 minutes of the second round. In the third round, I thought she clearly won the third round. So don't know what the judges were looking at, but all three of them gave Vanessa 29-28. So they must have gave her the second round. So crazy. It's crazy. Whatever. Luckily, I had the over 2.5 in that fight, but if I had a Murata moneyline bet, I would be salty. Next fight, Menez versus Mendoza. I don't know what Mendoza was doing. Why do fighters continuously go for knee bars after the first or second try and they don't get it, and then they eventually get knocked out doing so? I don't get it. It had to have been like the 5th time we've seen this in the last year. Everyone who tries to go for knee bars after knee bar after knee bar, they eventually get ground and pounded and knockout. And this is what happened again. Bad fight IQ from Mendonça. He literally looked very good in his loss against Javid Basharat, who I think is way better than Nate Maness. And he just completely did a 180 and looked completely awful in this fight. I don't even know why he tried to grapple. I liked him better in the striking department, but it is what it is. Didn't have a bet on this fight, but just a crazy outcome for these first four. Just weird fight IQs and judges' decisions. But now we will get to the other side of this card. Carolina versus Belbita. Carolina looked very good. Judges had this right. I thought Carolina won all 3 rounds, but you could have gave Belbita the first. Carolina definitely won the second and third round with the better striking. Her jab was looking very good in the second, third, and her uppercut. And she just mixed in some grappling and push up against the cage a lot of times. So good win from Carolina. She still has it. Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez. Masterclass from Bill Algeo. He won all 3 rounds. Alexander looked confused in the first round. Didn't really land a lot. Bill Algeo landed more, so he won that round. Round 2 was definitely Algeo. He got the knockdown. Alexander looked good in the third, but I still think Algeo won the third too. So great win from Algeo. Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn. Classic Drew Dober here. Ricky Glenn, I believe, he doesn't have a chin anymore. He still looks slow, just like in the Christos fight. So just a big mismatch, and the line was accurate. Let's put it that way. Joaquin Buckley versus Morono. Morono looked a little weird in that fight. I don't know if he was just a little scared of Buckley's power, but Buckley did win. The first round was a little closer, if you want to say, but I thought Buckley clearly won the third round at least. The second round was fairly close too, but I still gave it to him. But good win from Buckley. I think he does look a little bit better. He looks quick, powerful as a welterweight, but for me, and it's just me here. This is just a nitpicking him. I don't like him trying high kicks so much. I think he tried at least 6 times. He like fell over at least once. He tripped over himself or whatever. And a lot of times it's going to get him in trouble. So to me, he needs to time those out a little bit better and plan them instead of just keep throwing them like crazy. That's just me, a little nitpick for him, but good win from him. Joe Pyfer versus Alazan B. Joe Pyfer. There we go. I mean, he looked great. The only little thing that he didn't look great was Alazan's leg kicks in the second round. It looked like it was hurting Joe, but Joe got that takedown and then shortly after the arm triangle choke. So best part though was when the ref Mark Smith asked Alazan, "Hey, are you tapping?" He couldn't even respond because he was out, Mark Smith. Like, I know that they were kind of look like punches to the side a little bit, so I'm not completely ragging on Mark Smith, but it was just a funny thing that he's literally asking him while he's sleeping. So to me, it was just funny. But and then the craziness of Bobby Green 30-second knockout of Grant Dawson. This is just what the MMA is all about. I mean, I don't think anyone thought that Bobby Green would get a knockout in 30 seconds. If you thought Bobby Green was going to win by knockout, cool. But I can guarantee you didn't think he was going to win in 30 seconds. You thought it might be later in the fight, like third or fourth round when Dawson gasses. But crazy. It was just a jab. And Grant Dawson went down like a sack of potatoes. So I don't know. Like, it's just a crazy, crazy MMA. I mean, that's what it does. A lot of these main events lately, like with the Valentina main event, with the judging 10-8 debacle, you got the Fiziev injury in the second round, and now you got the Bobby Green knockout in 30 seconds. That's 3 main events that have been crazy. I think I'm going to stay away from betting main events because I haven't been doing well because I've lost money on every one of those main events. But overall, it was a pretty fun card. We didn't have fights for 2 weeks, so it's going to be fun no matter what. But all right, let's get right into it. For this card, Yusuff versus Barboza. Let's start with the first one here. We got Lisboa versus Oliveira. Lisboa is 6-2, 32 years old, 5'7", with a 67-inch reach, and Oliveira is 7-1-1, 26 years old, 5'5", not sure her reach. Lisboa, oh, they moved around the things. I have to look around. Sorry, guys. My notes are a little jumbled up. Okay, so Lisboa, solid striker. She's got good power in her hands, good in the clinch, and then she has good knees and good elbows in there. She can be a little hittable at times on the feet a little bit, but not too horrible or anything like that. She does have solid grappling, good submissions too, so she's pretty well rounded, and she does have good cardio. Oliveira making her UFC debut. She's a solid striker. She likes to push forward. She's a little more aggressive a fighter. She does go for the finish a lot. I think in her 7 wins, I believe she has all finishes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. So she's never been to decision. So she's going for it. Yeah, this is going to be a fun fight and interesting. I'm going to stay away from the betting perspective because I do like Lisboa here to win. I'm just not super confident in her yet as a minus like 370 favorite. But I do think she gets the job done. I do lean her way. I like her grappling upside. The striking, I believe, is pretty close. I do. If I had to favor somebody, it might be Lisboa, but Oliveira does come forward. She does have power in her hands, so I do think she might be able to crack Lisboa a couple times and land some good shots. But if Lisboa does try to go for some wrestling and grappling, I do believe she can get those takedowns and maybe win some control time grappling that way. Just mixing in them, even if it's not just a wrestle heavy grappling game plan, just mix them in here and there. I do think she's a little bit more well rounded than Oliveira. So give me Lisboa to win. I'm going to say she gets it done by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's a late finish or like a third round, maybe submission, kind of like Lisboa did in her last fight against Jessica Rose Clark. Because Oliveira may slow down a little bit because, like I said, she does push forward, she doesn't have a good pace, and she goes for the finish, but maybe she just doesn't get it and kind of gasses herself out as a UFC debutante. And that, like I said, as for bets, I'm going to stay away. If I had to play something, maybe I would think about doing the over here, but I don't. I think I'm just going to stay away and watch this one. Next one here is going to be Ashley Yoder versus Emily Ducote. Yoder is 8-8, 35 years old now, 5'7" with a 69.5-inch reach. And Ducote is 12-8, 29 years old, 5'2", with a 63-inch reach. Let me get to this one. So Yoder, she's been off for 2 years. So her last fight was against Jin Yu Frey 2 years ago. So that's not really a good look right off the bat. But I mean, she's pretty well rounded, but she's just one of those fighters where she's just not good anywhere, but she's not really awful anywhere either. But not the greatest finisher either, but she's durable. I will say that she's never been finished in her career, and she does have okay striking and okay wrestling and grappling. Ducote though, solid striking. She does have good power in her hands. She can land some good shots, good leg kicks. She's durable as well. Solid takedown defense. Everyone keeps saying that she has some wrestling, but we haven't really seen it in the UFC yet. But she does have a high volume of. She throws a lot of volume out there. So I like Ducote here a lot, and I know she hasn't won it in the UFC yet. I believe. Oh, she beat Jessica Penne, but um, she lost against Angela Hill, which is very tough. And Lupi Godinez, again, I thought she looked better than in that fight against Angela Hill, at least. But Lupi Godinez is always tough too. So I think she does get this done. I think she's going to be the better striker. I think she'll be able to keep this fight on the feet as well. And I'm just not that impressed with Yoder. And that little red flag of being off 2 years is a little scary. And she's 35 years old. It's not like she's 28 and then took 2 years off and coming back at like the age of 30 or something like that. No, she's 35. So is her heart really in it? Is she trying to finish her contract out? Is she just trying to get a paycheck? We don't know. All of this is coming in my head, but I do know Ducote and I know what she's going to bring. So I'm going to pick her to win this fight. I'll say by decision. Like I said, both fighters are durable. And I would say Ducote has the finishing ability more so, but I just don't think she gets the finish because Yoder's never been finished. Bets, I like Ducote in a parlay. You could throw her in there. She's about minus 280 range, I believe. You can look at the overs here as well. I like too, if you don't want to pick a side, but I think Ducote is the side here. I think she can get it done, probably by decision, like I said. Next fight is going to be Chris Gutierrez versus Alatengheili or Haley Alatang, however they want to do it each and every week. I don't know. They switch it around. Gutierrez, though, is 19-4-2, 32 years old, 5'9", with a 67-inch reach. And Haley Tang is 16-8-2, 31 years old, 5'5", with a 66.5-inch reach. So let me find this one because they're, like I said, they moved around all of these fights. Okay. Gutierrez, he's a very good striker. He's got very good leg kicks. He likes to push forward. He can also stay at range very well. He likes to use his kicks, like I said, up the middle, leg kicks, all that good stuff. He's got good cardio. He's got very good takedown defense. He can be countered, and if he does get rocked, he kind of shies away from being hit after that. And like in his last fight against Pedro, after he got rocked and knocked down, then he was like a completely different fighter. So it's something to think about in this fight, but I don't think it's something crazy to think about. But I've never seen that before. in a Chris Gutierrez fight. So it's a little worrisome, but I think he'll be okay in this one. Alateng, though, he is taking this fight on short notice, like a week or two, nothing like super short notice. He's a solid striker. He does have a little bit of wrestling and grappling he can use, but he mainly keeps it on the feet. Um, he's low volume at times on the feet too. He likes to wait for his opponent to come rushing in or for counters and stuff like that, and he can be hittable by doing so. And to me, I like Gutierrez here a lot. That short notice is not going to help Haley Alateng at all. I do think Gutierrez should be able to take over as the fight goes on if he struggles early, anyways, or he can win a 30-27 decision, or maybe even a late finish too. So however you want to see it, or if you see it a different way, I think Gutierrez either gets like a knockout or a clear decision win. So Gutierrez, I'll say he gets the decision win. Let me look and see about Haley Tang's. I mean, he's been finished 4 out of his 8 losses. So I'm gonna say decision. Gutierrez can get us like a spinning elbow or something crazy, but he's not really like a clean one punch knockout kind of guy. He kind of has to do something special or death by 1,000 cuts kind of thing, or maybe even like a leg kick knockout, which can happen in this fight actually. So gonna go decision. Bets. I don't know what the line is yet for Gutierrez. It hasn't dropped on DraftKings, so I'm sure he's going to be about a -3, 400 favorite. And honestly, I think that's a safe parlay piece. If you can get him early like that, I would do it. But anything crazy like -500 or higher, just stay away. Maybe look at the overs here instead. But I like Gutierrez to get this one done. Next fight's going to be a interesting one too that I will tell you that I will stay away from immediately. Arena Alekseeva versus Melissa Dixon. Alekseeva is 5-1, 33 years old, 5'8", with a 66-inch reach, and Dixon is 5-0, 32 years old, 5'7", and I'm not sure her reach there. Let me find this one. So Alekseeva, she's pretty well rounded. She can be really wild with her striking. She pushes forward and kind of, I don't want to say goes crazy, but her striking is a little wild when she does push forward. She's got solid takedowns and grappling. She's very dangerous on the mat. And like I said, very aggressive, but it's been working out for her pretty much her career. I mean, she's only lost once on the regional scene, and she beat Stephanie Egger by a knee bar last time, and it shocked everybody. But she was aggressive, and she got the knee bar and got her out of there. So it's a good win from her. Dixon making her UFC debut. She's got good striking, good power in her hands. She does stay at range pretty well, so we'll see if she can counter Alekseeva rushing in and pushing forward. She does have good grappling she can use, but she's mainly, I think she's a better striker. But she does have grappling if this fight does get to the mat. So again, staying away from this from a betting angle. I don't see. I'll have to think about it, but I don't see like a thing that jumps out at me right now. But Dixon is a slight favorite, and I do slightly lean that way as well. I do like Dixon's technical striking on the feet a little bit more than Alekseeva's wild and craziness. You don't know what you're going to get. But like I said, it's been working out for her, but it might not work out in this fight because unless she does get this fight to the mat, then it could be a different story. But on the feet, I like Dixon. She's more technical, good power. I think she'll be able to land the better shots on the feet. But like I said, if Alekseeva comes in there and tries to do the same thing she did against Egger, anything can happen. So lean Dixon, I'll say by decision. Or actually, I might even say a finish here. No, I'm gonna go. I'll go decision. That's fine. That's like I said. Stay away from this one. It's just this is just a weird lower level women's MMA fight. Making one fighter's making her debut. The other one had a short fight in one impressively, but very inexperienced too as well. They both have 5 and 6 fights in their career, so I wouldn't throw too much at this if you're going to. Let's put it that way. Next fight's going to be a good one here. Darren Elkins, my guy, versus TJ Brown. Darren Elkins, local guy, made good. 27 years old. I wish. 27-11, 39 years old now. 5'10 with a 71-inch reach. And TJ Brown is 17-10, 33 years old. 5'9, 72-inch reach. So we all know who Darren Elkins is. He is a beast. He's a grinder, good wrestling, good grappling, solid takedowns. He's always going to push forward and try to get that takedown. His striking isn't the greatest. He does use his striking to set up the takedowns. He can be hittable. But we've seen him take a ton of damage, hence his nickname. And he's durable. I know he's been knocked out at least once lately against Cub Swanson, but Cub Swanson's a beast. But he's very durable and his cardio is very top notch. TJ Brown, though, well rounded, solid striking with power on the feet. He's got good takedowns and good offensive wrestling. But if he does get this fight to the mat, his BJJ and decision making, let's say, is a little questionable. If you want to say some of his fights, he tries to go for the submission over position, and then he completely gets reversed. It's not a good look, and I do not think he should be doing that whatsoever in this fight, because if he does get on his back, I don't think Elkins will let him back up. And like I said, he is pretty well rounded. He's pretty durable too. This is an interesting fight. And I know Elkins has taken tons of damage. He's been in tons of wars. He's 39 years old. But hear me out. This is a kind of fight and the kind of fighter that he could beat. TJ Brown's takedown defense is not good at all. And Elkins pushes a pace and he can wear on Brown. We've seen Brown wear down as the fight goes on too. So to me, I think TJ Brown needs to get this fight out of here early in the first, maybe early second round. And if not, Elkins is going to take over and he's going to grind to either a decision win or a late finish with his wrestling, because I think that wrestling is going to play a big part in this fight. If Elkins can't get a takedown, he's going to lose this fight for sure. But I mean, TJ Brown's takedown defense is like 36, 37%, something around those range. It's not good at all. So to me, I'm going to go with Elkins at least this one last time. Let's put it that way. I think he can get this one done. I think the matchup is perfect for him. He's the underdog. He's a junkyard dog. He's going to fight for your money. Those are the kind of underdogs you want to back with your money. So give me Elkins to win. I'm going to say by decision, but I wouldn't put it past anyone here that he gets that third round, like ground and pound or a submission when TJ Brown is just a little tired, if you want to say. Bets, money line for Elkins. You can look at the over, third round decision prop for Elkins too. I mean, if you're on TJ Brown too, it's not, I mean, I don't hate it, but I think this is a perfect stylistic matchup for Elkins to get this fight to the mat. And if that's the case, Elkins is going to win. Speaking of very good fights here, this one's a good one. Christian Rodriguez versus Cameron Saaiman. Rodriguez is 9-1, 25 years old, 5'7", with a 71-inch reach. And Saaiman is 9-0, 22 years old, 5'8", with a 67-inch reach. So let me find this one. So C-Rod, well-rounded, solid striking on the feet. He does have good power, good boxing, good grappling. His takedown defense isn't the greatest, though. That's the one thing that's a little lacking, if you want to say, but it's not horrible. He does have good scrambles to get back up, good reversals. He's durable and he's got good cardio. Sneaky submissions as well. He got a anaconda choke on Joshua Weems, and that was pretty impressive, actually. Saaiman, well-rounded as well. He's got solid striking and very good grappling, good submissions. With his striking, though, he can be a little hittable at times. Sometimes when he gets a little too aggressive coming forward, he can be open to counters. Nothing crazy either, too. Takedown defense also isn't that great either, but he has good scrambles and he's got good submissions, too. This is a good fight because I really think they both are kind of the same. You may favor one fighter a little bit in one area, but they're very well rounded, very young. They're still improving. And I have kept going back and forth with this one. I'm looking at the lines. I know money's coming in on Cameron. I know he's a very highly touted prospect, and I do think he's very good too. But I'm leaning Christian Rodriguez ever so slightly. I think I've seen a little more questionable decision making in Cameron's game in his fights in the UFC than I have seen in Christian Rodriguez's game. Um, Also, too, to put it this way, Saaiman has gotten 2-point deductions in I think his first two fights. He didn't get one in the last one. And also look at the people that he's fighting. Kevin Kozlo, which I believe was on short notice, who's not that great. Mana Martinez, honestly, I think that might have been on short notice too. And Terrence Mitchell, who's not good at all. We've seen it. And honestly, I think that was on short notice too. At least Christian Rodriguez in the UFC debut fought Jonathan Pierce, who I think is a good grappler. So if he was able to stay around and stick around and not get finished by Jonathan Pierce, who's way bigger than him up, and Rodriguez was up a weight class. So I'm gonna lean, like I said, Christian Rodriguez. I think if this fight does get to Matt, I would favor Saaiman just a little bit more. But if this fight stays on the feet, I like what I see from Christian. I think he'll be able to land the better shots. It'll be a very close fight. I don't see a finish from either guy. So give me Rodriguez to win by decision. Again, I think I've said all decisions so far. But this is going to be a really, really close fight, and I don't blame anybody going for the underdog. This is probably for betting underdog or pass here. So I'm going to watch the line. If Rodriguez gets close to plus money, or if it's like a close pick 'em, I might throw some on Christian here. You can look at the over here as well. I think that's a good play. I don't think either guy is going to get finished. Honestly, they both are really good everywhere. There's no like really bad weaknesses other than both their takedown defenses. So good fight. Like I said, I can't wait to watch this one. Next one is going to be a makeup fight from a few weeks ago at Noche UFC. Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. Chairez is 10-5, 27 years old, 5'7", with a 72-inch reach, and Lacerda 11-5, 27 years old, 5'6", with a 70-inch reach. Let me find this one. Okay. Nope, that ain't it. There it is. So Chairez, basically, I'm just going to say exactly the same as thing that I said in UFC Noche. So Chairez is a solid striker. He's got good power. He's durable. He likes to push forward. His takedown defense isn't the greatest, but he does have good scrambles. He does work himself back up, and he's very durable. Lacerda, he's super aggressive, whether it's striking, wrestling, grappling. He goes for it in the first round. Super dangerous everywhere. The problem is he's literally like first or early second round or bust. And that's basically him in a nutshell. When they did fight last, we saw a pretty, almost a round of them, and Lacerda wasn't as aggressive as he normally is. So maybe he was trying to conserve that energy, maybe get this fight later on. So we'll see what happens this time. If nobody saw that fight, what happened was basically they were going back and forth, and then all of a sudden Chairez had a guillotine locked up, standing guillotine, and Lacerda, the ref was checking Lacerda's arm, and it was up and down, and finally it went limp. And the ref called it off because he thought he was out, and then Lacerda protested, and they said it was a no contest. So um, I don't blame the ref for doing that, actually, because he did check 3 times and then it went limp. So I'll give him a little bit of credit, but at the time I was like, what the heck's going on? That was a bad mistake. But rewatching it, I get it. But I'm going to stick with my original thing. I'm going to go with Edgar here to get it done, whether it's going to be by a knockout or a submission. He almost had that submission, whether it was locked in completely or not. But I think if it would have went a little bit more, maybe Lacerda would have tapped. You don't know. So give me Chairez to win. I'm going to say second round knockout, or he gets it done in the second round anyways. That's a bet that I'll be looking at once the props drop. Also, I'll be looking at the unders here. I'll be a little bit skeptical to play the under 1.5, which I'm sure it'll be set at, because it looked like Lacerda's pace started to slow down a bit in that last fight that he was with Edgar. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the same game plan here, so he can maybe go later in the fight just in case instead of going all out. So give me Chairez to win in the second round, whether it's going to be by knockout or submission. Next one's going to be Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. Pereira is 28-11, 30 years old, 6'1", 73-inch reach, and Petroski is 10-1, 32 years old, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. So for this one, let me find it again. Like I said, they moved around all these fights. Pereira is well-rounded. He's more of a striker, but he does have pretty decent grappling and wrestling he can use. He's normally known for being that crazy guy with the jumping knees, the spinning attacks, the back flips, all that stuff. But he's been toning it down lately. This is going to be his, I believe, his first fight at middleweight now. He's always had a tough time making 170. He's a huge guy. So he's going to have that little extra weight on here. I'm wondering if he's going to have a little bit more explosiveness, maybe better cardio. We'll see. Now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, he's got quick hands, quick strikes, good kicks, all that good stuff. He's durable. We have seen him in the past with his cardio. It looks like it's been improving, but it might be different here at 185. We don't know. Petroski taking this fight on short notice. He's a very good wrestler with good grappling and submissions on the mat. On the feet, he does have power, but he's more so like an overhand right kind of like fighter. He doesn't really put together combos or jabs or anything. He wants to try to knock you out. And after like, 10 of those strikes, he gets winded real quick. But he does have that kind of different gas tank when he's on the mat and on the feet. He gets tired really quick on the feet, but if he gets the fight to the mat, he has that second level of gas where he can kind of go through scrambles, take the back, go to different positions and advance. But his gas tank, though, that's the questionable thing about him. It's always been like that since I think it was Tough that he was on, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Pereira here. I don't know the line again, but if it's anything about minus 300 range or better, I'm gonna take him in a parlay for sure. I think he does get this done. I like his striking more so. I think he can be able to defend the takedowns. Actually, Petroski's like his takedowns seem a little weak lately, and I don't like they're sloppy, especially after the first or second takedown he misses. Very sloppy. So I think Michelle is way better on the feet. And I think he gets it done. I think he can get a late finish or a clear decision win. Petroski's been surviving, if you want to say, but he's been knocked out once. He's been submitted. Also, Brian Battle did that in Tough too. So give me Pereira to win. I'm going to say he does get that late finish, like in the late second or third round finish, whether it's going to be by a submission or a knockout. I would say submission over knockout. But yeah, give me Pereira here. I like him a lot. You could look at the under in that fight too. That might be a good play for both guys. Next fight, another good one here. Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. Martinez is 18-4, 29 years old, 5'8", 69.5-inch reach. And Yanez is 16-4, 29 years old, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach. So they're both the same age, almost same record, almost same height, almost same reach. Are pretty much the same. Let's see. Martinez, very good striker. He's got very good leg kicks, good kicks in general, up the middle, anything like that. He does have solid grappling and wrestling if he wants to use it, but we haven't seen too much of it. He stays at range very well. He can leave himself open to counters at times if he gets a little lackadaisical. We've seen it in a couple of his fights, or at least his last fight against I don't remember who it was, but he was winning a whole round and then he got dropped at the end and he lost that round because it seemed like he was playing with his food a little bit too much, but I don't remember who that was. It might have been Vince Morales, if I want to say. Might have been. But yeah, very well-rounded guy here. He's durable, he's got good cardio, all that stuff. Yanez, very good boxer. He's got very good counters, good quick hands. He's durable as well. I know he just got knocked out pretty bad against Rob Font. Um, but normally, like I said, he's durable. He likes to get in the pocket. He likes to throw, work the body, then up top. He can be hittable at times too, as we've seen in the Rob Font fight if he gets in the brawls. But no more. I think the reason why he did because a lot of times he would win those, and this was the one time he actually lost the brawl. So this is going to be a great fight. Both are very good strikers, but I keep going back and forth on this one. I'm going to go with the more dangerous fighter here, I believe, and that's Adrian Yanez. It wouldn't shock me one bit, though, if Jonathan Martinez just, plays it safe, stays at range, works the leg kicks, and, beats him up that way by decision. But I think Yanez has the opportunity to get the knockout. I think he has the opportunity to win by decision, too. I think Martinez is more so a decision or bust here for this fight. I think, you know, Martinez isn't really the greatest knockout guy unless he, death by 1,000 cuts kind of guy. But Yanez does have that knockout power. So give me Yanez to win by knockout. I think he'll be able to push forward enough to negate those leg kicks. Martinez, get inside the boxing range, work the body, and maybe get the knockout. I'll say second round here. So bets I would look at, it's a pick 'em. So whichever side you like, obviously not a bad bet. I would lean Yanez. I think that's a good bet if you do. Um, I would stay away from the over unders. I think Yanez is the only one here that could get the knockout. So if you want to play the over unders, I like both guys either not being finishers or they're both finishers. That's about it. Maybe money lines. Just stick with the money lines in this one. We got the co-main event of Jennifer Maia versus Vivian Araujo, and Maia is 21, 9-1, 35 years old, 5'4", with a 64-inch reach. And Vivian is 11-5, 36 years old, 5'4", with a 68-inch reach. So Maia has very good boxing. She's very well rounded with good grappling, good in the clinch. She's strong in the clinch too, durable, good cardio, good volume. Her takedown defense, though, I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not awful. That would be maybe her one little lackluster attribute. Araujo, well rounded. She has good power on her feet, good takedowns. Sometimes they can be a little sloppy as the fight goes on, but she's always dangerous early. Cardio is a little bit of an issue as the fight goes on, but she is durable too. She's not getting knocked out or anything like that, but she does slow down, like I said, as the fight. She's been in a lot of decisions, and I also Jennifer has been in a lot of decisions. So both these are basically both fighters are basically decision fighters, but I like Jennifer Maia here a lot actually. And I'm very surprised that she's only minus 150. So that's something I like for a bet. I think she is going to be able to take over as the fight goes on. If she does lose the first round, she should be able to win rounds 2 and 3. And she could probably win round 1 too. I think her boxing is a little more clean. She throws good strikes. Her striking defense is very good. Vivian can be a little wild at times too. She can be hittable. And if she goes for takedowns and doesn't get them, then she starts to tuck her out a bit. And that's just only going to play in the hands of Maia. So give me Maia to win. I'm going to say by decision. Like I said, both girls are decision fighters lately, anyways. So you can look at the Maia money line. You can look at the overs here if you're not sure who wins. But I like Maia here a lot, especially at that price. So something to look at. And we got the main event. We got Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza. Yusuff is 13-2, 30 years old, 5'9", with a 71-inch reach. And Barboza is 23-11, 37 years old, 5'11", with a 75-inch reach. So Yusuff is a good striker, quick hands, good volume, good takedown defense. He does have some wrestling and grappling he can use. He's durable, pretty decent cardio, but overall good fighter. Barboza, legend. We all know him. He's got experience, 35 fights of experience. He's fought good competition. He's got very good kicks, as we all know. Powerful. He's a good striker. Solid takedown defense, good grappling too, but he's more so a striker. He's not going to initiate grappling. And he's always dangerous, especially early on. We've seen it in his last fight against Billy Q. He was able to get that flying knee knockout. So to me, this is a close fight. Like, I know the lines are actually fairly close, so I don't disagree with it 100%, but I think they should be a little bit closer. And like I said earlier in this video, the main events lately have been a little crazy, and honestly, I can see something crazy happen here again. Like, it's something that we would not expect, because this could be a sketchy main event. I ever so slightly again lean Yusuff, the younger fighter here by 7 years old. I think he's going to have the quicker hands. But as this fight goes on, like, I think anything can happen. I think Barboza starts to slow down. We haven't really seen Yusuff, you know, I think this is Yusuff's first 5-round fight. Barboza's been in some 5-round fights, but they were like earlier in his career. Definitely not as of late. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the younger guy here. I think who's gonna be has quicker hands. But Barboza is very live here, especially early. He's got power still. He can definitely get the knockout, and that's the one thing I'm scared about. So I don't blame anybody picking Barboza here. Barboza inside the distance, but if Sadiq can play it safe at least the first couple rounds, get this fight into the later rounds, and if his cardio can hold up, I do think he's going to be able to get the win, whether it's going to be a late finish or a decision. So I'm going to say Yusuff by decision, but like I said, lately, man, it's been injuries. It's been Bobby Green knockouts in 30 seconds. It's been weird judging scorecards. So who knows what's going to happen? I'm probably going to stay away. I've been tainted with the main event curse, if you want to say, with betting. Stay away from this fight, but going to lean Yusuff to win by decision. But all right, guys, those are my picks and predictions for UFC Vegas 81. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't, or if you're new. Check out my Patreon. It's Patreon at www.patreon/JohnnyKpicks. You can don't forget to leave comments as well. Live shows will be Thursday night. I believe this week it'll be on my channel. And then we'll do the Saturday live show. I'm not sure whose channel that will be. We always do that. So definitely click that notification so you know whose channel is going to be on. And we'll always post it on Twitter and Instagram as well. So definitely check that out as well. And like I said, thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate everyone's support. Until next time,